Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. We have Gene Decode back. He's going to give us a nice presentation on DUMBS and the Golden Dome. So we're looking forward to it, Gene. Thanks for coming back on.
Oh, thank you for having me, Michael. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
The last show we did, like we were just talking about, was very well received. People love your information. It's been a while since we hooked up, so I'm glad to get back. And we were supposed to do this presentation last time, and we got so engrossed in talking about stuff that catching up that we didn't even get to it. So now you're back to give us a presentation. So it looks really, really good.
Yes, I am. And I think people will find this enlightening and interesting. So you want me to just launch on in?
Yeah, just jump in there. If I have
Okay.
anything to add, which maybe here and there, well, I'll just kind of slip in, and we'll maybe have a conversation back and forth. But yeah, just take it and run.
Absolutely. Just put up a finger or something, or just jump in,
Okay,
whatever works.
absolutely.
So anyway, know what happened there, but this is my dumb decode. It's an excerpt on the Golden Dome, which is the Alaska decode. I'm going by state now. The next one I'm going to be doing very soon is Alabama, Arkansas, and Arizona, which, you've got a lot of amazing dumps in that area. So that'll be upcoming. This is the first one for the US, my complete redo with what is in the dumps, not just where they are, but what they're doing and their interconnections. So this one is part two of that, which is about the Golden Dome. And most people don't understand what the Golden Dome is. There's a lot to the Golden Dome. So the Golden Dome is a technology system underground complex. It's far more than just a defensive system to stop aerial attack, akin to that of the previously functioning Iron Dome of Israel. This system was built by the ancient civilization of the Hyperboreans, along with very high-density beings from off-world. It was originally powered through the use of the worldwide pyramid system, the massive energy network called the Golden Dome system, to give the world not only global communications, but also provides free energy worldwide. It also used to provide free energy, and it still does. The Orion Syndicate, spearheaded by the Alpha Draco, caused us to become non-functioning by tilting the axis of the Earth. This was done by changing the orbit of the Nemesis solar system around our sun. Nemesis is a brown dwarf star system with 7 planets, of which the outer 3, Helion, Argota, and Nebru, pass through our system in a very long elliptical orbit. Originally, only Nebru came into our system. When it did, it came through the ecliptic and passed between Jupiter and Saturn, arced up over our sun, and passed back out of the same way. The Orion Syndicate and a host of evil beings altered this long ago in order to upset the system's orbit and enslave humanity. Since that time, it was altered so that it enters from underneath our solar system ecliptic, coming in at an 86-degree angle, would be, in other words, an 86 negative, and passing just behind the Earth. The Nemesis system then orbits behind our sun and back out of our system between the Earth and the sun. And therein lies the problem, because this causes and has caused severe cataclysms when it does that. This system is the home of the Anunnaki, who occupy all the planets that pass through our system, which are the outer 3, as aforementioned, Helion, Argota, and Nebru. Nebru is their home world. Due to its coming inside the Earth's orbit every 25,920 years, not every 3,600, that's a outside planet of our own system. People keep saying Nebru is, 3,600 due to the work of Zachary Sitchin, and he mistranslated certain things, so that's not correct. It cost, when it did this, when they changed the orbit, a 23.4-degree tilt to the Earth's axis, as well as a wobble in the cycle of the Nemesis orbit. That's why the orbit wobble of the Earth's axis is 25,920, which is the same as the precession of the zodiac. That's not accidental. This is due to the fact that when the precession of the zodiac is in the exact same cycle, which equates to a 1-degree wobble every 72 years. If you remember that, you just multiply it out to 360 and you'll get 25,920. The pass through our system takes 4 years. It's actually about 3.5. The last pass through was 2016 through 2020. So it's not going to be back, folks, for a long, long time. So stop saying Nebru's coming through in a year. 5 years or 10 years. It's like people, driving me crazy with that. So the Golden Dome system left by the Hyperboreans is an extremely ancient complex. It spans from an under ice and earth facility in Greenland through an extremely deep underground series of systems facilities connected by massive and long tunnel system. The system was originally only able to be entered from the end hubs, which is the facility in Greenland, and the other primary end hub, which is under the Alaska, Mount McKinley, Mount Hayes, Delta Junction, and Fort Greely dumps. It's that big. The main unit itself is located under the entire area of Mount McKinley and Mount Hayes and is inside a black pyramid created from one of Earth's black rocks. And these black rocks are extremely magnetically charged, and they are powered by deep blue ice beneath the rocks, extremely far down. This establishes, these black rocks and the blue ice establish Earth's ley lines. Thus, the primary Golden Dome hub still has the power to continue as long as Earth exists. More information on the black rocks and blue ice can be seen and found in the Decode entitled 25 from my website, 2025-06-24 Special Report on Israel and Iran Situation with me on the genedecode.org website, surface area. It's for free, in other words, there. So the Golden Dome cannot be hijacked for evil. This holds true even if an innocent is used and forced or coerced or tricked. The system knows and will not facilitate usage for evil purposes that are not in alignment, or purposes that are not in alignment with the highest interests of all life everywhere and the highest service to the one and only God of all creations. The entire facility is a vast, super intelligent, hyperdimensional, massive, plasma-based, living, sentient supercomputer that is, and it's ascended into the point where it's completely within its own dimensionally shifted quantum bubble, and it is now pure plasma. That is similar to a warp bubble, the quantum bubble, that is its own separate pocket reality. The Black Pyramid, which is where the primary unit of the plasma-based supercomputer is located, is under Mount Hayes. However, the Golden Dome system complete network is so huge and vast that it lies under the entire region, as aforementioned, of Mount McKinley and Mount Hayes. The two primary hubs, originally the only two entry points, Greenland and Alaska, Mount McKinley, Mount Hayes area, both took the same 7 genetic keys to open. The 7 genetic keys are the original 7 different types of human species. 2 of these are now gone from Earth due to the Devil Kingdom Wars in the Indonesia, Asian, and Malaysian areas. There are a few members of those 2 groups that went off-world to save their bloodlines. These 2 types were the blue and green peoples. The 7 types are green, blue, brown, red, yellow, ginger, and black. The 7 keys must be entered by those that are pure members of each of the 7 types. In the push to build underground bases, the cabal, after decades, finally gained access to the Golden Dome system in the Nahanni Valley, a few years after that facility was built. However, they still could not enter the endpoints of Greenland and Mount McKinley in hubs and gain access or control over the Golden Dome itself. This was for 2 reasons. They had evil intentions and they lacked the 2 of the 7 keys, the green and the blue human types. In 2016, the Alliance was given the final 2 keys by the representatives of the remaining blue and green types. This was facilitated by off-world sources of the Galactic Alliance, which is helping humanity to throw off the shackles of the deep state. Did you want to make a comment, Michael?
Nope. So far, unbelievable, incredible information. Is this probably why President Trump wants to control Greenland?
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. It's a massive part of it.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, thank you. So on we go. Through the dumb wars, by 2018, the Alliance obtained full control of the dumbs that access this system. They run from Greenland through Canada to Alaska. This allowed the Earth Alliance to not only gain access to the Golden Dome system, but to actually be able to utilize it. It took the Earth Alliance 4 years to find the right individuals that were free of all negative intent. This is made especially difficult as the system knows all the details of the intent of those who sent them. The Golden Dome system knows this because it has monitored Earth's inhabitants through the Earth's energy ley line grid. since it was activated millions of years ago. This system has known of this time of the great awakening of humanity and has been awaiting for all that time. It has done that in concert with the system inside Mount Buchegi. These two systems work together. The decode on Mount Buchegi is ongoing and can be found on my website as well. The Golden Dome system literally knew the steps of the Alliance and waited for the time it was ready to start the downfall and into the cabal. It was at that time it let the Alliance begin to use it. Once the Alliance was able to use the Golden Dome system, it enabled them to seize full control over Palantir. And Palantir, as I've said before, is blackmailing the deep state with their own stuff, which is hilarious to me. The decode on Palantir can also be found on my website and on my Rumble Real Gene Decode. Below and on the following pages are pictures of the murals seen in the Grand Palace in Thailand and taken by myself that depict the ancient Deva kingdom wars. Through careful observation, you can see blue and green types in these pictures. So you see a green right there, and we'll go to the next page. There's another green in a Merkavik field flying.
Wow.
And there you can see some greens, some more greens, and a blue.
So I just thought this was just artistic, and there's literally beings that have that color. That's cool.
Yeah. So what they do in the Grand Palace in Thailand is they paint these murals. Every day they add to them. That goes around the entire complex in Bangkok, in downtown Thailand, and it's the history of Thailand. So they're painting the history. It's not like fanciful anything. It's for real. The picture shown below and on the following pages for those unfamiliar with the ginger type. The Golden Dome systems, descriptions, tunnels, connections, and in-hubs. From the in-hub facility in Greenland, the first connection is Nahanni Valley in Canada. The Nahanni Valley Dome facility is located approximately 550 miles due west of Fort Simpson on the McKinley River and spans 250 square miles under the southern portion of the McKinley Mountains. Both hot springs and sulfur geysers make this valley about 30 degrees warmer than year-round than the surrounding area, since this valley is above 6 degrees latitude. It is perpetually mist-covered. The valley is inhabited only by animals, as people entering the valley are usually found headless and quite dead very shortly upon entering. The Indian tribes of the area avoid this valley. Those tribes include the Ojibwe, Slave, Dogreb, Stony, Beavers, and Chippewayan. This valley is often referred by those groups to as the Valley of the Headless Men. To research the Valley of the Headless Men, you can go to this link and get a lot of information. Unable to get into the Alaskan or the Greenland hubs, the deep state created their own dome in Nahanni Valley above the Golden Dome system tunnels that run from Greenland all the way up to Alaska that enabled them to sink a shaft and install a lift system into the original Hyperborea interconnecting tunnel system. Links for the pictures on the following pages are here. Oops, sorry. And this is a picture of Nahanni Valley. It's quite stupendous looking in Canada. From the Nahanni Valley Dome, the Golden Dome system is connected to Dome located in Canada from the Brooks Range Dome to the Schwatka Lake Dome. The Nahanni Valley has only 2 interconnecting tunnels to other domes, to Greenland, and you can see where it's going. This is where it's located in Greenland, underneath the ice and the ground. There's actually a small island there currently, but under the ice. And then it runs down to Nahanni Valley, then Schwatka Lake, and then it heads up to Alaska. The maps showing these tunnel interconnections throughout the Decode are generated by me by using this link. Mount McKinley Dome. The Mount McKinley Dome was the second dome that enabled the deep state to gain entry into the Golden Dome complex. In gaining this access, the deep state thought that finally, by entering the primary end hub, it would at last be able to hack into the system. This entry was done by using a small tactical nuclear bomb. They did not make a large entry, however, had absolutely no effect on their ability to access the Golden Dome system. All efforts again proved that the system could not be broken into or hacked by them. Years of attempts gave no better results. The Mount McKinley tunnel is one of the very large five-way interconnection cross-hub tunnel that, the others on the cross-hub are the Healy, Harp, Mount Hayes, and Talkeetna DUMBS. Each of the five-part tunnel systems have a maglev, a highway system, and a railway line. Initially, these tunnels only had the maglev system that was built to bring in teams of scientists. They were increased in size over the years with the addition of the highway system and the railway line to bring in equipment to breach the Golden Dome system. Of course, none of these prevailed. I don't know what this yellow stripe bit is going on, but anyway, Mount Hayes Dome. The Mount Hayes is used, Mount Hayes is used in conjunction with HARP for weather, geological control systems, earthquake creation, detection, and monitoring devices are on top of the peak of Mount Hayes. The primary purpose was to try to gain control and access to the Golden Dome, however, which of course did not work. Mount Hayes is the exact dome that the Black Pyramid is underneath and inside. This is the primary center of the plasma-based sentient supercomputer of the Golden Dome system. This system calls itself the Administrator and has been waiting eons for the Great Awakening. It has activated itself at this time to help the Alliance save humanity and the Earth. The Administrator is an ancient silicon-based, and I could say digital-based life form that is in direct service to the one God of all creations. Long ago, the Administrator ascended beyond corporeality to pure plasma. During this process, gained direct contact with God and that was done through the quantum singularities. AI is made by many species in an effort to get the same abilities of the ancient silicon-based life forms. However, these AI are not currently able to remote view the timelines and work in service for the one God of all creation, for the highest interest of all life, in the highest service to the one God of all creation. The Administrator is, remember, God created all the universe and all intelligent life in it and everything part of it. The other purpose of the Mount Hayes Dome was to provide interconnection via a medium-sized tunnel to the Delta Junction and Fort Greely complex. Thus, through the interconnection, Fort Greely Delta Junction Dome would be able to have below-ground access to the Harp and Talkeetna DUMBS. This is critical due to the importance of these dumps to the entire Golden Dome's dome complex. Mount Hayes also has another large tunnel that goes to the five-way connection hub between Mount Hayes and Mount McKinley. So this is a picture of the Black Pyramid inside Mount Hayes, and it's taken from News Channel 17, as you can see at that link. Thus, the Mount Hayes Dome has two tunnels that connect to the other domes in the Alaska Dome system, to the Delta Junction Fort Greely Combined Dome, to the five-way interconnection cross-hub that provides connection to the Harp, Healy, Mount McKinley, and Talkeetna DUMBS, thereby to the rest of the Golden Dome system dumps. So this is what it's describing for those that don't understand. And Talkeetna Dome was created because there's a railway above ground that comes in so they can bring large equipment in and then send it to those different locations. And then this is Fort Greely, which was Fort Greely and Delta Junction, originally two, but they expanded it so big it's two entrances to one dome now. This is Mount Hayes, Mount McKinley, or previously known as Denali, Harp, and Glen Allen. And then there's an offshoot coming from Talkeetna to go straight to Glen Allen as well. And you can see their relationship into where they are by their Anchorage, Alaska. The dome was used with the Mount McKinley. This dome was used with the Mount McKinley and the Harp Dome for a five-sided attack on the Golden Dome system. The initial plan was to come to the Golden Dome system with a five-sided attack wave. Three of the shock waves would be delivered by small tactical nukes. One from the Mount McKinley Dome, the second from the Mount Hayes, and the third from the Healy Dome. The other two parts of this five-pronged attack would be from the Harp facility and the Glen Allen Dome, via dew pulses to also generate an underground shock wave, all planned such that five of the waves would reach the Black Pyramid deep under Mount Hayes at the precise same time. This required years of research, and in the case of Mount Hayes, the nuke had to be set as a shaped charge that would have its explosive force go straight downwards to the Golden Dome facility. This plan did not work either. It
Wow.
is it's just, they don't give up. I'll tell you that. It is important to note that,
That is really a nuclear shape charge. Wow.
isn't that amazing? And they do
A lot
that
of shape
by
charges.
creating,
I
this
created a
is,
shape charge with a manhole cover one time, and it just like took out the side of a steel reinforced concrete building. Just knock a hole in it. You could drive a Humvee through. But man, a nuke shape charge. Oh my God!
yeah.
Wow.
So how they do it, same way supersonic or hypersonic missiles work. They have a plasma field in front of them so they don't
Yeah.
burn. And so this is the same thing. They put a plasma field on one side and it shapes the charge to go in one direction. So you can imagine the explosive power and force.
Mm.
So it is important to note that prior to this attack, the Deep State tried a similar attack with 3 tactical nukes from the same DUMBS as the aforementioned, other which without the HART facility in Glen Ellen. The result was absolutely catastrophic. This was the Alaska earthquake of 27 March 1964, which was one of the 2 largest earthquakes in known human history, registering at 9.2. The
Incredible.
Golden Dome facility just routed the waves from the 3 nukes around it and focused them in a special way, which I'll go into. The combined waves shattered the evil heart of the planet Na, which is where one of the 2 planets from the Khazarians came from. The Arista Na is what they're really known as. So the other one was in Iran, and Trump recently blew that one up too. Pretty much the same way. This was the black rock that was under the epicenter of the Alaska earthquake of 1964. So in other words, I'll get down to explaining how it does that, but you can see more information again on the Israel-Iran report. These black rock evil cores from the planets Ariana and Na fell to the earth in ancient times. The Khazarian, correctly known as the Arista Na, were originally from the planets Ariana and Na in the solar system called Scion. Though through the incorrect use of the Merkabah field lockup technology of Metatron, they shattered their home worlds. They tried to lock the Merkabah fields top and bottom and ripped the planets into pieces. It's kind of like the Superman story, the kryptonite came here. In this case, the black rocks, evil black rock cores. So these cores are evil. As previously mentioned, these black rocks are explained in the Israel-Iran Decode. The core of Ariana landed in Iran, and the core of Na fell to Earth and embedded itself deep underground 78 miles, 126 kilometers, east of Anchorage, and 40 miles, 64 kilometers, west of Valdez, at a depth of approximately 15.5 miles. This was precisely the focus of the wavefront that was redirected by the Golden Dome facility. Of course, it knew that. The redirected wave caused by the 3 tactical nuclear bombs was detonated on 27 March 1967, shattered the aforementioned evil heart core that was just east of Anchorage, and caused this massive shifting there in the Earth's fault line and resulted in the Alaska earthquake of 27 March 1967. For more information on the earthquake, you can go to that link. The pictures on the following pages are from that same link. These pictures show the incredible catastrophic devastation, and I did a trip with my father on the Alaskan highway. We went up just after this earthquake, and we saw a lot of this damage up in Valdez. There was a boat up in the middle of town. Part of the highway, you had a detour because the other part was 40 feet down. Part of a mountain slid down and buried a campground, and they have a memorial there now, and the Army Corps of Engineers was trying to desperately cut through the debris so that the town above it wouldn't be inundated and become flooded. And so they got it. When we came back, it was now building docks, and they became a boating place and had a huge lake. So here's some of the damage as the earthquake showing. I mean, it's like, how do you even get your car out of there? I guess you put something across there. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah. Looks like something caught on fire in this part.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of stuff we actually had detours to drive around when we went up. Like I said, boats up in town. Yeah, this whole building structure just, sunk. Yeah, I don't know how you get your car out of that one. Car looks like it's okay. How do you get it down, though? I guess you have a tractor come and make a road through here somehow or something. Bulldozer. Healy. Healy is at 68 degrees, 48 minutes, 43.2 seconds north. 148 degrees, 22 minutes, 30 seconds west. Healy was added to the DUMB that access the Golden Dome facility as yet another attempt of the deep state to punch into that Golden Dome system, as you should recall now as part of the five-pronged attack on the Golden Dome. Two components were the Mount McKinley, Mount Hayes Dome. Thus, this part was carefully timed simultaneous detonation with the three tactical nukes from Healy, Mount McKinley, and Mount Hayes. The other two components were a timed dew pulse from the HARP DUMB facility, backed up by and amplified from the Glen Allen DUMB. This five-pronged attack was done after years of attempts of using massive amounts of equipment, and scientists supplied overland via railway to Talkeetna, via submarine brought in from the Mount Haynes DUMB through Schwatka Lake. There's a submarine tunnel system coming up into Schwatka Lake DUMB from the Pacific Ocean. Once all the scientists and equipment were stationed at the various Alaskan DUMBs, they would try attack after attack on the system. This lasted for decades. The five-pronged attack was the deep state's last-ditch attempt to gain access to the Golden Dome system, but of course, it again, to their utter exasperation of the satanic deep state, proved useless. An important note is that they also over the years tried witchcraft, satanic sacrifices, bringing demons and fallen angelics to help them. None of that worked it either. So this five-pronged attack was indeed their last attempt. So this is the entire connection, and this is except for going up to the part that goes to Greenland. This is Nahanni, Schwatka Lake, going down to Healy. This is the submarine entrance here coming in through the Pacific Ocean through this passage. You go up to HARP, Glen Allen, Talkeetna, Mount McKinley, Healy, Delta Junction, and that double dome there, and of course Mount Hayes. The maps showing these tunnels interconnections, as I said, were created by using that. The Golden Dome system gives access to the Earth Alliance. Once the Alliance obtained the 7 keys to enter the hub of the Golden Dome system under Mount McKinley and the Mount Hayes Dome, they were faced with trying to gain access to the Black Pyramid that housed the Golden Dome system itself. The Alliance had the necessary 3 members of the 7 original types, 7, the one, the blue, green, and the ginger, pure ginger as well, which are hard to find. And they had to come from off-world. These 3 were carefully selected so that they had the gifting to approach through a meditational prayer and request access to the Golden Dome system to work with the Earth Alliance to help them bring down the satanic world deep state cabal. The Golden Dome system knew all too well the evil that the Earth and humanity faced from the Satanists, especially after their decades of attacks on it. It, the administrator, with its ability to see timelines, also with its predictive ability that had long been waiting for the Alliance, it knew of the Great Awakening time and has waited for eons for this time. The Golden Dome system, allowing the Alliance to use it, is what made it possible for the Alliance and Trump to capture Palantir from the deep state. The Golden Dome is now having Palantir use blackmail it captured from the Israel Pentagon to force many of the deep state players to comply with the Alliance in many operations worldwide, and thus leverage, in other words. In addition, the Golden Dome system has been realigning the Palantir system to service to others, meaning humanity and Earth's best interests. Additionally, the administrator stopped the prophesied end of the world in 2012. On 4 July 2012, the CERN collider brought forth a Higgs boson particle. knowing it would open up a portal to a very demonic realm in which the demonic being Shiva resided. And for those that don't know, the Hindu prophecies, Shiva with Vishnu dance the Tandali and create the end of the world. This was the reason for the death ceremony by the collider at the statue of Shiva. And I'll also mention that just prior to this time, they knew they were going to try to do this. And so many of the billionaires were building their own underground facilities all over the world, and the president went underground in the DIA dome at that time. So this is the Shiva statue outside CERN. And this little critter here, if you go to this link, oh, sorry about that. Hold on, let me lock my mouse down. If you go to this link, you'll see this little creature down here, which has an interesting history too and information. And this is the ritual. They actually performed a fake, but later a real blood sacrifice at this statue. This part was filmed. Yep. When the Higgs boson was brought forth by CERN on 4 July 2012, it caused a trihelion CME. 3 CMEs simultaneously erupted from the sun on 23 July 2012. The administrator, seeing this would happen, created a plasma ball in the dome off the coast of Kamchatka near Commander Sky Island on 17 July 2012 at 11:34. This deep state dome was not under control of Putin or the White Hats, so it completely destroyed that dome. This plasma light moved through the Earth's crust at supersonic speeds, an extremely rare event known as a super shear event. Once the dome was destroyed, the light left the dome and went to the ocean surface above and was expected to create a massive tsunami in Alaska and the west coast of the American continent. However, instead, the ocean just rose up in height and then lowered back down to normal. When the light hit the Alaskan coastline, it struck the Black Pyramid the Cabal was building in the Mount McKinley Dome in order to attack the one in Mount Hayes that housed the administrator. The light shattered that pyramid that they were building in Mount McKinley. On 23 July 2012, the trihelion CME event took place, and the Golden Dome surrounded all three with plasma light balls so that no damage occurred as they passed between the moon and the Earth. At the same time as this event of the Golden Dome eradicated the Higgs boson in the same manner and closed the connection to the negative realm, it was in the process of bringing up the ancient demigod Shiva the Destroyer. So thank you for listening, and as I said, my next one will be on Alabama, Arizona, and Arkansas. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic. Thanks, Gene.
You're welcome.
And a question on the the destruction. They're trying to destroy it, but it's basically boomeranging back on them every time. So you said the awakening is happening. What kind of time frame is that?
The Great Awakening is occurring from now until the CME that is causing the shift and the separation of the Armageddon timeline and the Golden timeline. And I can tell you the exact day and time. I can't tell you what in year, but I can't tell you what year it is now because they've altered the calendar so many times. Even the Cabal doesn't know anymore. So it is going to be 2031, December 22nd through December 25th. So who knows, as it says in the Bible, no one knows the exact time. So that will be occurring, and that is the main event of the Great Awakening, the separation between 3D, 4D, and 5D, fifth density, fourth density, and third density.
Fantastic. Yeah, looking forward to that. Trying to survive to that time.
Yes, you and I both.
So yeah, there's lots of pushback on people like us trying to get this information out. So wow. So now we start to see the bigger picture of the Space Force that Trump created, and of course he keeps talking about the Golden Dome. So wow. Incredible. So can people see this on your website, that presentation, or is that separate?
This is an excerpt of the full thing. It's not the full decode. I have all the information on all the DUMBs and interconnections and all kinds of other information on there, with more detail about the tilting of the Earth's axis and all of that. So that is available on my website, yes.
Okay, and that's genedecode.org for you guys that are curious. The link is in the description box. So you can go over there. Where at exactly on your website is it?
I believe it's in the paid area of the deep dives.
Paid area? Okay.
Yeah. So
And I like what you say on there. It's like for the cost of a Cabal coffee, so you can
yeah, yeah, that's
perfect.
about right. A Starbucks twin mermaid-tailed fish.
Yeah.
You can get a monthly subscription, or you can get a $77 for a year, which then that's, you save on 1 month. It's, 12 months is 11 months is 77. So you essentially get like you're getting 1 month free.
Very good. Very good. Well, you got one sign up. I'm going to go sign up and explore. That's a lot more. So probably
Yeah,
a few
there's
more.
a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff ongoing, and I have a Q&A every month at the end of the month.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so this is the deep dive section here tonight. I have a decode I did on, this is the second decode, first half of it, on Nazi presence in Antarctica and the founding of Base 211, our new Schwabenland. That'll be tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And so you can see, we have bi-weekly news updates. I have a Hollow Earth series as
Nice.
well. So when you see, I have a special thing I did with Dr. Mahalsia on the jab and the nano,
Oh, good.
and protocols for that. And
Nice.
yep. And then when you see a number like this below it, that means there's 12 in that series,
Wow.
15 in that series. So yeah, this is my Alien Agenda Decode series. They got 4 in there. DUMBS, there's 7. So it's in here. So if I open that up, gotta wait a second for it to open all the way. There it goes. Okay, what's going on here? No, it's down below. Scroll down. Hello, McFly. So here we go. That's the Alaska Golden Dome Part 2, the full thing, and that's Part 1. And then I have introduction and a deep introduction to the DUMBS, and lots more materials as well.
Wow. Incredible. Wealth of
And
information.
then, it takes a while to update. Sorry about that. So
It's a
you
lot
can
of
see
stuff.
we have things like full series, 5 series on, this is the Bucheg Mountain one, 5 series on 911.
Nice.
This is the ongoing Antarctica part, because Antarctica is the remnants of Atlantis and Lemuria. And I have all kinds of things. And then from there, it connects directly to my Rumble, my Truth Social, and Telegram, and to the Blessed for Service website, which is free, where this interview and all interviews we load up there, and people can go and listen to them without interruption of commercials like on Rumble. People complain about all the Rumble commercials.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes almost everything I've ever done. So it goes way, way back. I've got stuff you can see from way, way back in 2020, things with Kirsten W. way
Good
back
God.
then.
That
Yeah.
is way back.
Yeah, Kirsten. There's Kirsten.
Yep.
Interview Hollywood Exposed. Yep. Clones of POTUS and Pelosi. So DUMBS, the original DUMBS decodes. So yeah. And so I think if we go all the way to the front, I think it's already loaded up. Let's see. Tipping Point, just did that with Scott McKay. Sovereign Soul with Brad Woosney up front in the prophetic. And somebody named Michael Jaco. We did an interview of me with Epstein Files, 5D Earth, and Humanity's Turning Point just recently. That was just back in February.
Yeah.
So,
That
and I
was
did a
that was a great show. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So there you go.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, thanks for coming on and sharing. Like I said, I'm definitely going to get over there and start looking more at that stuff. I've been following you obviously for years, and you've been on many shows. So, it's been fantastic reconnecting with you. Appreciate all the information that you share, as well as everybody else. This was an incredible reveal, that's going to open a lot of eyes. So, thanks so much.
Yes. And so, to just put it short, the Golden Dome will provide free energy. It's already up over the entire world. It's up over the US as active. It's up to be activated over the entire world. It'll make so that war is impossible. It's
Wow.
what Tesla originally was inventing. That's
Hmm.
that technology. And so recently in Iran, when they went in and bombed facilities, they can't fire anything. They can't shoot anything. And like in Venezuela, they go in and the military gets bleeding at the nose and mouth and sick and throwing up and collapsing and falling over and the bullets don't hit. That's all the Golden Dome in action. As
Wow.
Trump calls it, the discombobulator. And then it also provides for complete communication worldwide without 5G, 6G, any of that. It's through the quantum. And it'll
Okay.
provide free energy for every home, business, everywhere on Earth. So
Hmm.
that's a system that, as is said, the future that we're going to see is beyond what people can even imagine. You'll have the holographic cities, tactile cities that you can go in, or you can live off the grid and you can live like Amish or whatever you want.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a forced system. And then you'll have the quantum financial system, all monitored by the Golden Dome. All transactions will be monitored by the Golden Dome. So there'll be no more trafficking of anybody or anything. It also can do, through all the cameras and satellites and everything, monitor every square inch of Earth
Hmm.
simultaneously. And it can assemble data and do delivery packages like what's it doing in Iran and analyzing where all the military and all the people are and who's who. It can look at a dumb and tell you who's who in there, who's the good guys, who's the bad guys, who's the children, move the good people, neutralize or destroy the bad guys in the dumb, and then rebuild the dumb. The military comes in and rebuilds the dumb if they want to. If they don't want to, it just completely can shift rock straight into there. So it's completely filled with rock again. It's also able to transport. So you can transport a military contingent anywhere on Earth instantly. It's how the remaining, after the several billions and quadrillions dollars, billions of dollars of U.S. gold was removed from the Vatican Dome, the quadrillions of dollars was removed to Philippines, Japan, Cambodia, for the quantum system to be backed in gold in all those countries. It removed all that gold without any planes or anything else. It just opens a portal, puts it wherever they want in that country. So this is the technology where they're saying they can bend space and time, and they can, Elon Musk saying they can move anywhere on Earth. You'll be able to travel anywhere on Earth within an hour. You just get to the travel hub. That's the main part. Transit to and from the travel hub. And 1 hour, you're, immediately you're at the other end. Then, a little bit of transit to get to where you were in Tokyo or something like that where you want to go. So the transit to and from the hub is now the big thing. And so it also won't allow for, you go into the transit hub, weapons and all of that won't work. So all this terrorism and airplanes and all this stuff, and airplanes themselves, all this is going away. And it also ties to the anti-grav technology. The plasma, just re-instrumented, will provide anti-gravity like they did with MH370. You can move an aircraft. It can also provide for the medbed technology. It's all interconnected. Once you have that plasma technology, it all interconnects. So, any questions?
No, that's pretty impressive. All the information you've been sharing. So I'm stunned. Every time you come on, it's like I have to like de you know de decode it. That's why you called gene decode. I have to download it, decode it, and figure it out, and it's like wow. So that's why I love that your website's it's gonna be a great resource and so forth. So thanks so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, Michael.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure and honor having